Inside Prince William's audacious plan to plant a very green flag in Brazil, and why the 2025 Earthshot Awards could be the turning point journey that defines his life before the crown. The message dropped like a well-aimed ace during London Climate Action Week. Prince William is packing up his planet-saving passion project and flying it 5,700 miles to Rio de Janeiro. On the 5th of November 2025, Guy Fawkes Night for Britons, but high spring in Brazil, the shimmering white curves of the city's Museum of Tomorrow will light up for the 5th annual Earthshot Prize. 5 £1 million awards, one rainforest-ringed metropolis, and the second in line to the throne determined to prove that royalty can still set the global agenda rather than merely glide along it. And make no mistake, this is not the polite, palm tree-studded royal tour of past decades. Courtiers are already whispering that Rio will be William's geopolitical coming-out party, a high-octane mix of green tech, Amazon diplomacy, and celebrity wattage designed to engrave his personal brand onto the map long before the coronation day ever arrives. Why Rio, and why now? Location is a message, palace strategists like to say. By choosing Brazil, William ties Earthshot to two unstoppable storylines. The Amazon's fate equals the planet's fate. 60% of the world's largest rainforest sits inside Brazilian borders. Every hectare saved buys humanity a few more heartbeats in the race against climate collapse. Hosting Earthshot on the eve of COP30, also scheduled for Brazil, drapes a fluorescent green highlighter over that truth. The Global South wants a seat at the solutions table. For years the environmental movement has been criticized as a wealthy nation echo chamber. Rio sends the opposite signal. The heir to the British throne is willing to shift the spotlight southward, sharing credit, cash and cameras with innovators born thousands of kilometers from Kensington Palace. Add in Rio's cinematic coastline, carnival instinct, and the time zone sweet spot for US-European primetime broadcasts, and you have the perfect stage for what a senior aide calls our Olympic opening ceremony moment, but for the planet. The Museum of Tomorrow, symbolism on stilts. Designed by Spanish architect Santiago Calatrava, the Waterfront Museum of Tomorrow looks like a gigantic white manta ray frozen mid-flight. It runs on solar wings and recycled rainwater, houses immersive exhibits on climate futures, and sits on the edge of Guanabara Bay, an ecosystem scientists say could bounce back if politics finally aligns with green ambition. It literally embodies the Earthshot equation, explains Prize CEO Jason North. Technology plus imagination equals a habitable tomorrow. Behind the royal smile, mission, pressure, and a missing partner. On announcement day William practically crackled with adrenaline, waving aside notes to speak off the cuff about turning the optimism dial up to maximum. Yet the most piercing question, will Catherine be beside him in Rio, remains unanswered. The Princess of Wales last strode an Earthshot carpet in Boston, 2022. Emerald silk gown salvaged from the rental rack, Billie Eilish soundtrack thrumming through the converted ice arena. Then came her cancer diagnosis, chemotherapy, and a calendar stripped to bare essentials. She missed the 2023 Cape Town edition entirely, a no-show felt across the sustainability world, where her fashion-first, but values-backed presence had become Earthshot's unofficial secret sauce. Courtiers insist it is far too early to decide on long-haul travel for November 2025. But insiders admit William would love nothing more than to step onto Rio's green carpet, with Catherine on his arm and Princess Charlotte, already a budding environmental champion, tucked just behind for a photogenic cameo. It would write itself, size 1 planner. The future king, his princess, and the next generation, assembling in the Museum of Tomorrow. That's literally the dynasty selling a sustainable tomorrow. Stakes bigger than sand and samba. This isn't simply about awards glitter, or tropical Instagram backdrops. William's camp sees Earthshot Rio as a stress test of 3 intertwined goals. Soft power reset. Post-Brexit, Britain needs fresh diplomatic currency. A royal-led climate prize that funnels millions into green startups across Africa, Asia and Latin America offers just that. Monarchy 3.0. If Charles is the conservationist king, William wants to be the action-oriented prince who couples gravitas with venture capital speed. Delivering tangible results. 10 Earthshots winners by 2030 scaling solutions for 1+ billion lives would anchor his reign in measurable impact, not ribbon-cutting nostalgia. Family continuity. The Cambridge children have grown up hearing Earthshot the way previous heirs heard Commonwealth. Building the prize into a generational franchise could give George, Charlotte and Louis a future-proof cause that transcends politics. Who's boarding the royal jet? Expect a glitter bomb lineup. Sources confirm talks with Gisele Bündchen, Brazil's own eco-supermodel, to co-host, plus negotiations with Coldplay for a Bayside concert powered by kinetic dance floors. Big tech titans, indigenous Amazonian leaders, and at least one Oscar winner are penciled onto the guest list. Think Davos meets Carnival, one organizer jokes, with a dash of royal protocol so no one forgets whose show it is. Political minefields. Landing a British prince in Brazil isn't risk-free. The country's volatile election cycle, controversies over rainforest policing, and flashpoint debates around indigenous land rights could entangle William in headlines no ribbon-cutting can untangle. Team Earthshot has quietly begun weekly scenario planning calls, weighing protest risk and mapping out Portuguese soundbites. No missteps, vows a senior comms strategist. One stray remark about lungs of the earth, and we're trending for all the wrong reasons. What success looks like. If, by dawn on the 6th of November, the world is talking less about royal protocol and more about the 5 new winners, and if billions of dollars in follow-on funding start chasing their ideas, then we've done our job. Jason North, Earthshot CEO. Success will be measured in venture capital pledges, corporate partnership deals, and the size of Brazil's policy commitments ahead of COP30. William has already convinced heavyweights like Bloomberg Philanthropies and IKEA Foundation to keep writing big checks. Rio is where he hopes to pry open even deeper pockets from Latin American energy giants, Silicon Valley titans, and sovereign wealth funds hunting for high-impact green investments. Catherine's wildcard, and the emotional undertow. For now advisors cling to a single line, the princess's attendance will be confirmed nearer the time. Those words mask a more personal drama. William wants Catherine there not simply as consort, but as co-creator. She sat in Kensington's drawing room in 2019 brainstorming the prize's name, insisted on the £1 million carrot, big money changes the room, she quipped, and pushed hard for the global roadshow concept. It's as much her baby as mine, William reportedly tells friends. If health allows, her first long-haul re-entry onto the world stage in Rio would be both symbolic redemption and a turbocharge to Earthshot's media magnetism. If not, William must shoulder the spotlight alone, risking a narrative of royal imbalance. The wider royal chessboard. Brazil will be William's marquee outing, while his father navigates the sharp edges of constitutional monarchy under chemotherapy shadow. Charles remains Earthshot's cheerleader-in-chief, but ceding the limelight to his son is a tacit acknowledgement that the baton is already mid-air. Courtiers whisper that Rio is effectively William's soft regency moment, proving he can marshal global leaders and a skeptical press corps without the comfort blanket of reigning monarch or glamorous wife. Bottom line. Beneath the samba drums and zero-carbon caipirinhas, Earthshot 2025 is a hard-edged power play. William is betting that the Green Revolution can supply a relevance revolution for the House of Windsor, one that speaks in the universal language of survival rather than ceremony. If the gamble pays off, November's night under Rio's neon skyline may one day rank alongside Elizabeth's first Commonwealth tour, and Diana's landmine walk in Angola, a single, daring voyage that redrew the shape and the purpose of modern royalty.